Welcome to IK Garlic Store, where we sell all kinds of kitchen accessories, home appliances, gas accessories, and electronics of all kinds. Today is another Friday with us, when we get to teach you how to use some of the wonderful items you get from us, so that when you get those items, you will know how to use them, and those items can end up lasting for you very well. So today here, we'll be teaching you on how to use your pressure pot, or you call it your pressure cooker, depending on which one you prefer to call it. Now, a couple of times people see this pot in the market, this pressure pot, and they're scared to buy it because they feel using it is very difficult. Yes, using it can be difficult when you don't know how to use it. But when you know how to use it, using it will be very easy for you. Now, a couple of people see this pot and they wonder, what is a pressure pot? What is the major reason? What are you using it for? Now, the simple explanation for a pressure pot is that when using a pressure pot, it helps to cook your food faster. And most of the times, what people majorly use it for is to cook those food items that are difficult to cook or that takes so much time, or when you cook it with a normal pot, you spend a lot of time using it to cook. Now, but when you use a pressure pot, it will make your cooking hours to come down. Like, for example, if it's something that's supposed to last 4 hours cooking, when you're using a pressure pot, it will reduce the time drastically to 1 hour. And not just reducing the time alone, it also reduces the energy consumption during that process, because you don't have to use a lot of energy to cook. Now, if you're either using your gas or you're using electricity to cook, it reduces the consumption of usage, that's the consumption of that electricity that you're using, or the consumption of the gas that you're using at the moment. That's one benefit of using the pressure cooker. Now, another benefit of using the pressure cooker is as well, if you're cooking, let me say you want to use it to make stuff like soup, or you want to use it to make, prepare your meat sausage and stuff like that. All those ingredients enters very well into that item you're cooking, thereby making the meat to be very flavorable. The meat will be extremely soft. It will be very yummy in your mouth. It won't be you eating your meat and you will find it difficult to consume. That's the wonderful benefit of using this pot. Now, how do you use the pressure pot? Now, the pressure pot comes with a lot of items. First of all, it comes with a manual. I would advise you go through the manual that it comes with, so that when you're studying or listening to what I'm teaching you now, you'll be able to digest it very well. It comes with a manual. This manual tells you or teaches you how to use this pressure pot, because pressure pot, like every other pressure pot, is the same designs, but different company comes with their own different design and different mechanism. But when it comes to operation, they are all the same thing. It's just that they build their own. This company can build their own and build it in a different format. Like the one we are using to explain to you is Hirosonic. Hirosonic is what we're using to explain to you. So it's a different. This one now, their design is like this. There are some you come, they don't have this lengthy hand. They just have a hand there. Now, when you go through this manual and you're listening to what I'm teaching you now, you will see, you get to understand more. What I'm just doing is just starting you up for how to use it. But I will advise you go through the manual. Now, as you can see this pot here, for you to open this one in particular, you will see that there's a button here. They're telling you should push it upwards. Once you push it upwards, and then you slide it to this side, and then it's open. When you want to close it, when you lap it in very well, just turn it, and it's locked. Once it locks very well, you will hear a kicking sound that will let you know that it has locked. Now, before I go further, let me dive into the items you can cook and cannot cook with this pot. Now, there are some couple of things even in this manual that is written here. That's why I say you need to go through the manual, so you know some of the things that you're supposed to cook with this pot and some of the things you're not supposed to cook. Now, the manual here is advising us that you don't cook, dry items, food that can expand. You don't use the pot to cook food that can expand so much. Like the likes of, they give example of the likes of oatmeal. They give the likes of example of cereals and, dry vegetable, noodles, spaghetti, macaroni, all those food, that can expand easily, that you shouldn't use the pressure pot to cook it. Then those food that that can easily bring out foam, don't use the pressure pot to cook on those things. So avoid using cooking food that brings out stuff like that. Now, back to the explanation. Now, this one here, you see that this component, when you bring it on, you see that this pressure valve was not fitting into this place. Now, what this place here is the steam. The steam evaporates from this place. This is where steam leaves from. So this, when you plug in this pressure valve, this is like a pressure indicator. This is what's telling you that there is already a high level of built-up pressure inside. That is already, the pressure in it is already coming up. Because when you start cooking, this pressure will just be in one place. In some other pressure pot, you will see this stuff dangling. It will be dangling. Some will be dangling, but this one, it's spinning. So when you start boiling or cooking whatever thing you're cooking inside, it will be spinning at a very high speed, letting you know that the pressure buildup is high. So when you see that the pressure buildup inside the pressure pot is already high like this, it's spinning at a very high speed, you reduce your flame to a minimum heat. You reduce it to minimum. Now, these ones here are the pressure relief. These are the pressure relief valves. That's why it's very difficult for this thing to explode. It's very difficult for your pressure pot to explode. It has pressure relief valves that will prevent it from exploding. If you look closely here, you see there's two valves here. You see that this one here is showing you. This one here now pulls out. When this one here is out, that means the pressure it has built up is high. So if you're already cooking at that moment, you need to reduce the pressure. And sometimes when it's built up like this, you can't even open it. It must come down for it to let you know that the pressure is at a very minimum rate. The pressure has come down. So when you're cooking and the pressure is high, this thing will go up. Let me say you're done cooking. This pressure will go, this valve will go up here. So you will need to allow it to come down before you can now bring out, or try opening it. Because if this valve here is out and you want to open it, you will find it difficult to open it. And if you still struggle and force it to open it, it might explode in your face. So you opening it at that moment is very risky. You allow it to cool off the pressure. That after cooking, you see that this valve will on its own naturally come down. This one is extra. This one is the relief valve as well. This one is the relief valve. This one is when it gets to an uncontrollable level, it will just on its own relieve the pressure from this place. That's why you see, if you notice, there are some dotted holes around it. That dotted hole is what will help to reduce those pressure when it has been built up so much. Then this one here is what's telling you that the pressure is already high. You cannot open the pot at that particular time that you're just done cooking. This pressure relief valve has to come down before it's now safe for you to open the pot. Now it comes with a seal as well. This seal is what laps with the pot to prevent steam from escaping. So this seal laps with this, it laps with this pot very well and prevents steam from escaping. And it comes with an extra seal. So this seal, for you to know that it has expired, it's when you lock the pot and then you see that steam is escaping from underneath here. Then you know that the seal pipe, the seal has already expired. You can change it. You can easily get it in the market. It's easy for you to get it. But this one comes with extra. Most times, most brands, they will put an extra one for you inside the pot. Like this one comes with an extra. There's one here and there's an extra one here. So whenever this one gets spoiled, you can just change it. And it's easy for you to fix it. So just like I explained before, when you want to close it, the same pattern, just put it and then you slide it and it's locked. So using a pressure pot is very, very simple. One major thing you need to, like I said initially, when you're done cooking with it, always make sure to allow the pressure in the pot to cool down before opening. It's not immediately you finish cooking, you just rush to open it. Opening it immediately is very risky. You have to give it time for it to cool down. So that's just for this. That's just all about this pressure pot. I know there are a lot of things I still need to teach you when it comes to this pressure pot, but these are just the basic knowledge of it, that when you get it, even though you don't want to go through the manual immediately, but I will advise strongly that you go through the manual. This information I've given you already will just help you to kickstart using it for that first time. So, and another thing too, when you buy the pressure pot, always try to sterilize it with water. Let the first thing you cook inside the pressure pot be water. Another thing too that you need to consider, I almost omitted that, you need to consider the water level. Now, if you're cooking food inside, or you want to put food inside this place, you want to put a certain level. There are some of this pressure pot that they will give you levels that the items you're putting inside is not supposed to cross. Now, whatever you're putting inside is not supposed to be above 2/3. If you're putting, let me say, for example, you want to cook, what you're doing is, let me say, meat or something. You shouldn't cross this level. You shouldn't be crossing this level. Anything that makes you to put it above this level, let me say above this place, you're seeing these pins above here. That means you want the pot to actually explode. Because now what we're talking about something that is working with steam within the pot. So it will be moving inside. It needs freedom, to be able to move very well inside it. But when you are now choking it up with contents, you're not giving it space for it to move. The only thing it will lead to is explosion. So when you're putting in contents inside, always make sure that you give in a certain level. Don't choke it up with contents. Don't choke it up with contents. And then if you do this, I don't think there's any reason why you won't enjoy the sport. I hope this video becomes of value to you. I hope you've learned something new. I know I didn't practicalize it because practicalizing it will help you to digest how to use it very well. But I believe with this video, you must have learned one or two about it, some of the safety, some of the benefits of using the pressure pot. Thank you. That's all for today. See you next Friday.